Hi everyone, welcome to Data Hikes, and today we will be starting with the introduction to SQL. SQL or SQL is the primary coding language that is used when interacting with databases, and within SQL we are specifically going to learn about DDL and DML commands. We'll find out about what that exactly means as we move forward. So what all are we going to cover today? We are going to see why do we need SQL, why is SQL really used for. First, we are going to look at the keywords in SQL as well. Then we will be looking at the data definition language or DDL commands, as I mentioned before, which is create table, alter table, and drop table. We'll see what each of these commands mean. Then we're going to look at data manipulation language or DML commands, which are insert, update, and delete. What is SQL used for? SQL, or like I said before, structured query language, is the coding language most commonly used to interact with data in a database. Now, we can use it to create tables in a database, to make changes in the structure of the data or the tables in the data, modify or remove rows from a table, and most importantly, to query the tables. Like the name says itself, it's a structured query language. Anything we write in SQL is called a query, but usually the most common use case for using SQL is querying the database, which means mostly asking the table for information that we need. That is the most common use case that is most common in the industry and most prevalent, most high frequency of use, whatever you want to call it. Now, as you can see, this is a clear depiction of the user interacting with the database and the tables within it using SQL. And it doesn't go one way. Like I said before, we use SQL to ask for the data, and then the database returns information to us. Let's look at a few keywords in SQL. What does keyword really mean? Like any language now, SQL also is a language. It's a coding language, but it's still a language. There are specific words that have a peculiar meaning in that language. Now, the DDL and DML commands that we will be covering in the session in depth are also keywords in SQL. But we'll just look at a few other keywords that you can just have, save off as a cheat sheet somewhere to just remember what each of these keywords mean. And obviously we'll go in depth of each of these keywords in the upcoming lectures, but today we'll just have a short, brief introduction to them. The first one is select. Select is just used to select columns from a table or pick columns from a table. From tells us which table we are picking up the data from. Join is used when we want to use multiple tables for extracting the information. On is used when we have multiple tables and we want to tell what condition to combine both these tables on. Where gives us the only rows where a specific condition is satisfied. Group by is used for aggregations. We'll go into much depth about group by in the upcoming lectures and what exactly it means, what all we can use for aggregation, and so on. Order by is simply sorting data by specific columns. And limit basically just means to limit the result that we are getting to a specific number of rows. You can say, for example, limit 10, and the query will only return 10 rows, or it will only give the top 10 rows in the information. So that was the introduction to SQL. I will be cutting down my videos to cover smaller topics at a time from here on out. In the next couple of videos, like I've discussed, we will be looking at the DDL and DML commands. Look forward to see you all there, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.